What is going on, Mets fans? Look, your intro already sucked. You know what? I'm just going to get this out of the way, Tanner. You've been holding it down. What's going on, baseball fans? What's going on, Mets fans? We're back. I tried to match the energy, but I'm tired. Tanner's tired too, but we're here for you guys. We're here for you. I got the energy because the Mets are winning baseball games. Another win today, Tanner. 2 in a row. We split the series on the road. We get to come back home, not right away, but eventually. We leave this West Coast road trip encouraged, I think, right? I mean, when it's all said and done, we showed out, I think, in Arizona and in San Diego.
I'm ecstatic with the way this team is playing right now. And like you just said, we go into San Diego, one of the best teams in baseball. And we're without our second baseman. We're without our third baseman. We're without 2 outfielders. And we're just finding ways to win. And I don't know. Well, I do know how we're doing it. We were talking about it before the stream. Like, it's funny, man, before the year started, and it's nice to see Lindor. Obviously, he didn't get a hit today, but it's nice to see him, kind of like you've been saying, be patient, be patient, be patient. It's going to come around. He had an 8-game hitting streak. He's finally above 200. He's starting to look more confident at the plate. He made a terrific play today in the field. And Drury, by the way, Drury had a huge double play at third base.
Insane. Yeah, insane play.
Yeah, he made a couple of big plays today as well, but I mean, the bullpen. I mean, the bullpen has been the driving force of, I think, why this team is winning. And the defense. I think the infield defense has been terrific, but we thought the bullpen was going to be Achilles' heel coming in, and it's kind of obviously the starting pitching as well, but it's kind of what's holding this team afloat.
I don't want to start getting into the Team of Destiny vibes because we'll get into that later, but this team definitely rubs me with Team of Destiny vibes, especially with how we've been winning games and with the people we've been winning games with. It's wild. It's next man up. Like, the energy's there. Everyone's positive. Even Lindor's slumping. Like, everyone's just rallying around and being so supportive and patient. It's awesome. I want to shout out the chat real quick. There are so many of you guys in here that I've missed. Cindy, John, Lake, MH, Gabriel, Mini Guy, Josh. Josh, what is good? Don't worry. Chris is happy you're here, even though you missed the stream. Sentinel, Buxo, Matt, what is good, guys? Pinworm, Mike, what is up, everybody? I'm going to throw your comments up. I know you want Mage Buxo. Maybe he's going to appear at some point, but here's the good news. We got the channel up and alive again. And guys, I'm sorry. We're sorry, but here's the good news. The Mets are 3.5 games in first place.
Yes, they are.
They're 3.5 games in first place. I don't know if it's still the largest lead in baseball. I believe it is for a division.
Let me take a quick look. We'll take a quick look. Because if that is, I'm going to smile.
So the Indians are at 4 now.
Yeah, I was going to say, nope. But we're close. We're close to the biggest lead.
Pretty damn good. Half game out. And we're finally making up some games. Look, and people rip on us still that we haven't played enough games as everyone else. Doesn't matter. We have the most wins in our division. We have 29 wins. The Braves and Phillies are looking at 28. Let's talk about the game quick, Tanner, before we keep going on rants here. Stroman pitched amazing again. Actually had his strikeout numbers up today, which was a little different. Walks were high, 4 walks, 7 Ks, 6 2/3, but really almost picture perfect aside from the bonehead ground ball that he made off the mat. That's what happens when you do too much. That's why no one likes how he plays. Eventually it bites you in the ass.
I'll say this about Stroman today. Outside of that play, and I think the Pete part of that error, by the way, I think it was him trying to hold on to the ball rather than it slipping out of his hand. I think he saw that the guy was going to be safe at second and it got away from him. But outside of that play, the thing to me that was so encouraging about Stroman today, he didn't have his best stuff. Like, Stroman today, to me, was up in the zone. He was only hit 92, 93 on the gun, but he was painting the corners at times. He was able to fight through it. He did not have his best stuff today, but Stroman gave a great effort. And the pen, I mean, outside of May, but the pen got the job done again. And I'm just so pumped up about this team right now. And if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that all these players were going to get hurt, you weren't going to have Syndergaard, you weren't going to have Carrasco, you weren't going to have half your lineup, I would have said we're dead. And instead, we're sitting 3.5 games up, more than 50 games into the season. I'm so amped up, man. I can't wait to go to some Met games. I can't wait to stream. Probably going to stream the DeGrom start. But it just an incredible feeling right now to be a Mets fan.
Dude, so, yeah, I am sitting here just thinking about how we're waiting for guys to come back. We're waiting for guys to turn around. And each time it's like Lindor, 8-game hitting streak over this road stand. When we were decimated, we needed it. He arguably could have 3-4 dingers on this road trip. Seriously, he crushed 2 balls in Arizona, like 415 off the wall. I mean, him heating up Dom with a dinger today. I mean, Brandon Drury, fucking Jose Peraza on the field too. Not only with his bat.
We got a little lucky there with that ground rule double at the beginning of the game when Peraza hit it. The center fielder misjudged it, but yeah, Peraza's definitely hit the ball well.
McKinney's playing out of his mind. I mean, it's nuts. We have a guy named freaking Mason Williams, who is playing center field for the Mets right now. I have no idea. We have Blankenhorn. It's like nuts, but our pitching is holding it down, like you said, and. Dude, I got to say it. The team of destiny, man. Every game I feel confident in. Every single game. Because the pitching, okay, we were being no-hit against Blake Snell. It was a 1-0 game. We were no-hit until the 7th inning. 1-0. And I sat there, and Lindor got the single that turned into a triple, and we had the tying run on third. I'm like, think about that. Just think, like, the mindset of this team. You're being no-hit. Like, that's something that holds over your entire team. Like, you can feel it in the dugout, especially this Mets team that struggled hitting. Once that happened, it's like, new ball game, dude. Like, the Padres dominated the entire game in the biggest fashion possible with the bat. Machado hit the dinger. He was making plays on the field. And, like, we can kill momentum just like that. And it just shows, like, this team is scrappy, man. Like, we're really scrappy, and I just like what we're about, man. This is Mets baseball, again, in every game. And, I mean, the last couple of games, we know that we either lose or win by 1 run, but the no-hitter we talked about. But then the next game, we were down 4-1 majority of the time. We bring the tying run to the plate. I think we lose 4-3, right, if I'm not mistaken, early in the series. So, dude, that's just what I mean. It's like, yeah, the first game of the series, we lose 4-3. So, we're never out of it, and we're that late inning team. And if we can get a lead early, we hold it because of our pitching. But if not, I love what we're about, man. I love this brand of New York Mets baseball. I'm with you. I'm jazzed up. I
saw the stat today, and when I was streaming the game, they showed it on WPIX. I couldn't believe it. The Mets this year, when they score the first run, or now they are 25-6. In games in which they score the first run. They have the best record of baseball when they get out to the early lead. And that's what they've been able to do. They've been able to sit on these leads. Obviously, DeGrom and Stroman are getting the job done, but once this rotation gets healthy, once this lineup gets healthy, like, we might be able to run away with this thing. But I don't want to get carried away. Like we've said all year, hang around 500, get healthy, make a move at the deadline, and then we're gonna push this. We're gonna push this to the end, and we're going to the playoffs this year. I have almost no – I mean, I don't want to jinx anything, obviously, because things can happen. But I'm very confident this team is going to the playoffs this year. I am very confident.
Sentinel, I do love what you're saying over here. The catches are holding it down and making the difference. It is wild. Let's talk about this. Dom is back at cleanup. Pete is back for this series. But for a while there, we had Tomas Nido as our cleanup hitter, like, for a significant amount of time. Then we were forcing James McCann to play first. I mean, we haven't done a stream in a while, and this is what I mean. There's so much to jam in here, but there is so much that's gone down and that we withstood. Like, James McCann's first game at first base, he makes that ridiculous play. I don't even if you guys remember it off top hand, dude was like in a shift, full body extension. It's like we're getting efforts out of guys out of position and at the plate. It's nuts. So Nido, McCann, you're right, unreal. But VR battling through his injuries. I mean, still scrapping, still fighting. Stroman helped himself at the plate. It's like when we need someone to get it done, it's a rotation, man. I like shouting out McKinney. He's our leadoff hitter right now. I love how everyone overshifts the hell out of him. And it happened in San Diego. He had 2 triples, I think. The one could have been an inside the Parker. He just finds it in right field down the line. It's so odd, but I love his game too. Like, we've really made nice managerial decisions.
I was going to say that. Yeah, I was going to say that. And I want to get Mike wanted me to ask you this. They asked me this on stream as well. I'm going to ask you in a second. But I was going to say that let's give Ross a little credit.
Yep.
We were all over Ross at the beginning of the year. Ross done a pretty good job.
Yes.
Let's give Ross a little credit for a second-year manager, a guy that still only has about 110 games under his belt. He's done a good job. I mean, with a team that's as banged up as the Mets are, let's give him some credit, man. I think Ross deserves some credit here.
And I like that he's fighting for the team. He got tossed the other day. I think, was it last night? No, 2 games ago. It'd have to be 2 games ago he got tossed. But he's being more vocal. Like, that was my issue with him. I felt like he was kind of behind too many people, and I thought he was a little too timid with things. he's really sacking up as the Mets manager. He's making the right decisions in terms of pitching. He's handling these players and the injuries as best he fucking could. I mean, that's where the credit really comes in. Who would have ever thought? I mean, this is very Mets-esque. This is like, in a nutshell, it's like we lose everyone and we get better. Like I can't.
And I see them saying it in the chat right now. You're absolutely right, Sentinel. You're absolutely right, Big Mike. They're manufacturing runs. They're finding ways to score runs. You're absolutely right. They did it today. They had the bunt. Who had the bunt? Was it Drury? Somebody had a bunt. I don't remember who it was, but they had a bunt with the guy playing back, and then of course Stroman knocked him in with the double. So, and they've been stealing bases. The Mets are finding ways to manufacture runs, but I want to make sure that we give Rojas his credit. I think he's done a good job with this team with all the things they've had to overcome so far.
I also want to shout out our farm system because I keep getting these notifications, and I just got one 12 minutes ago. But Brett Beatty is hitting out of this world, and Francisco Alvarez is probably going to get promoted again. Both of them, our two prospects in Alvarez and Beatty are the real deal. I think Beatty had 2 home runs in a game. I know that's off topic. It's still the Mets. But, yeah, no, I'm here with you. I see a lot of you guys talking about, can't wait for Nimmo to come back. Yeah, I can't wait for Nimmo to come back either. But at the same time, it's like, why force it? Like what's the rush? Like, so something has to be said with making the right moves in terms of free agency and these little trades and getting guys for cans of corn, basically. I mean, Cam Maben's probably the only one who didn't really pan out. But you find a leadoff hitter in McKinney getting 2 hits. Like, the offense is humming. We had double-digit hits 2 of these 4 games. The 2 games we won, we had double-digit hits. And in Arizona, I think we had double-digit hits every game. Yeah. So we've been waiting for this, and we aren't even at full –
we're not even close to that full strength. We're not even close. I mean, we're missing going into the year McNeil. I mean, you thought he was going to be one of our top 3 or 4 hitters. Conforto, one of our top 3 or 4 hitters. JD Davis, McNeil. And Nimmo. So I mean, it's incredible. We weren't getting offensive production when we had the starters in there, and now we're starting to when we got AAA players in there.
Well, Sentinel, to your point, too, I don't remember being so aggressive base running in the last few years. That's the side of the analytics I like. Like, if you're going to go hit and runs and steal bases and get things active going first to third, that's cool. Analytics shouldn't all be shifts. There's other ways to utilize it. Bunting, we've talked about this on this stream. I think every time we come on here, how much we like bunting and how the AL will never do it. The AL never does it because of the DH, and we probably won't ever do it moving forward, years down the road. If the NL goes to DH, but like utilize it. It's such a lost art, man. Utilize it. The Padres even did it. That's how you manufacture runs. Yeah, it was Peraza, the bunt, and all these guys. Stroman slashed. He showed bunt and pulled back. Like, we have guys that aren't just trying to punt. Like, they can go up and get the job done. There's a big difference. Wait, what do we got, Buxo? What are you saying about Ocho Cinco? Ocho just got dropped. Where is this fight? I need to know where the fight is, Buxo. I was telling Tanner that Ocho is fighting, and I didn't know when.
I'm sure they'll have the highlights. But Mike Nixon wanted me to ask you this question. I got asked that on my stream. I got asked who were the top 7 Met pitchers in the history of the franchise.
Well, 1, 2 is Seaver, DeGrom for me.
I agree with you. And when I quickly answered it, because I've been asked, I don't know about top 7 specifically, but I've been asked
it turns into the top 2 and then 5 others.
Yeah,
it's like them 2. And then.
But 3, 4. When it was asked to me, I just instantly said, I said Seaver, I said Gooden,
Ryan. I didn't know the Ryan.
He wasn't here long enough. Kuzman.
That's fair.
And then I said those 3, and then I'm like, wait a second. No, DeGrom's got to be. DeGrom's 2. He's clearly 2.
DeGrom's over Doc, no doubt.
Yeah,
I love Doc Gooden, but he's over Doc.
Yeah, I would.
Do we want to talk about DeGrom yet? I mean, we could just spend the entire show talking about his numbers. It's like I turned the game on late during his start. I know he ended up with 11 Ks, but I saw he gave up no runs, and all I said was, "Well, because his ERA improved."
Jacob,
it's unreal.
And don't get me wrong, Tino. We've seen. 3 years ago, Jacob deGrom had one of the greatest years in the history of baseball. He pitched to like a 1.7, 1.8, whatever it was. We've seen Jacob deGrom at unworldly levels. He's taken it a step further. Like, every time deGrom goes out there now, I honestly feel like I was watching, not his last start, the start before that, I think it was against Arizona. I was like, he's going to throw a no-hitter. Like, every time he goes out, it's like I almost expect him. by like the 4th or 5th inning, I'm like, yeah, he's going to throw a no-hitter. It's like, he's that good. He's been that dominant.
I've said this. He's either throwing a no-hitter or hitting a home run. Every start. That's what I keep saying. He's either throwing a no-no or he's hitting a home run. That's why I want to go to every DeGrom start, because I either want to see the no-no or see the home run, because he's hitting the shit out of the ball too.
It's about like 400.
It's he's a machine. It's unreal. He throws like 100 every pitch now. Like, we don't even have to get into velo numbers. I want to pull up this Jeff Passan tweet. Okay. Through 9 starts, he was saying arguably the 2 best seasons ever for a pitcher were Bob Gibson and Pedro Martinez in 68 and 2000. Through 9 games, Gibson 80 and 2/3 innings, 54 hits, 20 walks, 57 Ks, 2 home runs, 1.34 ERA. Pedro 68 innings, 68 1/3, 40 hits, 14 walks, 95 Ks, 3 home runs, 1.19. He's like, DeGrom season is better. 58 innings pitched, fine, but 25 hits, 8 walks, 93 Ks. He has 93 Ks.
The guy's got the guy is a well, keep this, and we're a quarter of the way through the season, a little more than a quarter of the way through the season in terms of starts. He has nearly a 12-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio.
At this rate, they said he's going to have a 14.43 K per 9.
And he has the lowest whip in the history of baseball up to this point in the season. He is the most dominating athlete in all sports.
I've never seen anything like this. I swear. I like bias aside, and I think everyone knows it. It's must see. I say it every time. Watching him pitch is must see TV. You have to just watch.
But I'm going to ask you a question, Tino. I'm curious to get your take on this.
Let's hear it.
Let's say we get the Dodgers in the first round.
Yep.
I don't even want to say it. I almost would prefer to get the Dodgers in the first round than the second round, because in a 3 out of 5 series, you got to verse Jake twice in a 5-game stretch. The way DeGrom is pitching right now, we might be favored against any team we play in a 3 out of 5 series. He is that dominant that you got to go through him twice in a 3 out of 5 series. So we have a tremendous advantage if we make the playoffs, specifically in the first round.
And we're hitting for him. He's winning games. I'm like, what am I watching? We got 13 hits for him. That's insane. Like, is this real life against San Diego, who's a team? Granted, the Dodgers, we can very well see San Diego in the postseason too. At this rate, for sure. So, and I don't know, Josh. I don't know how he's getting better. It's unreal, and like, I love watching players just gasp. Like, swinging at him, it's just like what the hell is, like, he's next level. There's pitchers, and then there's Jacob DeGrom, and what he's doing is uncanny. But dude, a tip of the cap to the rest of the pitching staff. I know Walker didn't do that great in his start, but I do want to say I think Fernando Tatis pretty much beat him by himself. I didn't think he pitched that poorly elsewhere, and I love what Walker's shown. I love what Stroman's shown. DeGrom, literally the only person who I can't see pitch is Joey Lucchesi. I'm done with him. Chad, I'm done with Joey.
We were talking about
Joey. I'm done with him.
We were talking about going to the game. What was it, Saturday?
Yep.
We were talking about going to the game on Saturday, and Tino's like, "Oh, Lucchesi's pitch." I'm like, "All right, I'm not going." No interest in seeing Joey Lucchesi.
I hate his windup. I hate how he said they interviewed him. He's like, "Of course, I want to strike everyone out on the Padres. Like, it's my former team." It's like, Joey, don't say anything like that. Like, you're not gonna. You'd be lucky if you get 3 Ks. Like, what do you mean you want to strike everyone out? Just be humble that you're there. Be happy that another team even wanted you. Like, I don't get it. Who would be your third starter? There's a fair question. MHA. I forget about Cookie all the time. Who would be a third starter in a 5-game series? I'd go Walker right now, no doubt. I think
it would have to be Walker. The way he's pitched, it would have to be Walker.
Also, mainly because I don't want to play the hypotheticals. Like, we want Cookie to be back, and we don't know if we're getting Thor back. And we've said this on the channel even before, when the news was he was going to come back in June. We said Noah would be better suited in the bullpen. I think the best case scenario for him and for us is if he does come back for September, he plays like a mad bum role and starts closing out fucking games and helping us in middle relief and really changes the game.
That is a great point. And maybe Syndergaard is the bullpen addition that we make at the deadline.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that he has, you're absolutely right. If he goes full throttle for 1 inning, the guy
he's coming out throwing 99. Who wants to see that in the postseason, like 6th inning on? You just got out one of our hard throwers, Walker. A Stroman doesn't throw hard, but you get out either Walker or DeGrom, right, from 100 to 97, and then you got someone coming out throwing possibly harder. I mean,
That might be his role this year if he comes back, when he comes back, hopefully.
Nick the Wick, thanks for shouting us out on the win. I appreciate that. And guys, I just want you to know we accept any and all bandwagon fans that want to come join us on this side. I know there might be some Yankee fans still in this chat, and I want you to know it's okay.
It's okay. I mean, listen, man. I've had to watch the Yankees my whole life dominate New York baseball, and it's okay. Like, things are gonna change. We get it. We're gonna get bandwagon fans. We're gonna own New York. I get it. Steve Cohen's the owner. The Mets are starting to turn the tables, and if you want to make the switch now, you do what you got to do, because the Mets are about to run New York for a long time.
MH, yeah, he did come out of the bullpen. You're right. And Lloyd, I don't love the situation. The good news is it was tentative. Like, he had no setbacks. There wasn't anything major to really worry about. The thing is, it's Tommy John, so you want to be particular. You know, you don't want to rush him back too soon. But I mean, to our point, if we get him to September and he was ready for June, even if he had that minor setback, that's 3 months of extra time. I mean, I don't know how significant it is. I'm not saying we need him, but the idea of it would be absolutely insane. Peterson also stinks. You're right, Dan Kim.
Oh,
Peterson, he has been pitching terrible as well.
I was trying to be positive with him after his first start because I thought he bounced back, and then he looked good in his second start. But Peterson, oh yeah, it's amazing, man. We're getting horrible production out of 2 of our 5 starters. We're still winning, but yeah, Peterson's another guy. I feel like it's a sophomore slump. Teams have a book on him now. And, yeah, he's not nearly as effective as he was in his rookie year.
Yankees fans. I mean, look, the thing about the Yankees, it's like the tides have turned because it's like they're not the big kid on the block anymore. Like, they can't even beat the Rays. They can hardly beat the Blue Jays. They're struggling to win 1 game against the Red Sox. Like, that's the gist. And we talked about this. If we look at the Mets schedule, we have the West Coast trip. We got the Orioles. We play San Diego again, and then the Cubs. And then it's just division for like half a month to a month, but we have full confidence in that. There's something to be said about taking care of those divisional games. And when you're the Yanks, you could be over 500. If you cannot beat a team in your division, and the fans will tell you that first, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to do anything. It's just, I think that's their Achilles heel right now. And I think that's what's helping the Mets, man, because we can beat the Nats. We can beat the Phillies. And I'm surprised with how we've handled the Braves. I'm surprised with how
we never beat the Braves. Never beat the Braves.
It took them a walk-off by their best player against like our worst guy out of the pen to beat us in Atlanta the last time we played them. Like, and they struggled that game to beat us. That's why I'm telling you, I have not seen this type of Mets baseball, especially this early in the season. I think that's more what it is. Like, I don't want to get all jazzed up, but 50 games through, like, we're talking about this last 50. Like, we still got 110 games.
We got a long ways to go. Long ways to go.
100%. But everything we've seen so far, I really don't think we've seen anything like it before. Dominant at home. We're staying alive close to 500 on the road. Like, that's literally the name of the game. Yeah. That's it. That's how you're a successful baseball team. You survive those road trips. Don't lose any of those series. And when you come home, take care of business. And the last couple road homestands that we've had have been some of our longest winning streaks, man. That adds up. That definitely adds up. And I think it's something we've been doing really well so far. I want to see what else we got in here. Like Lindor finally producing, McCann. Everyone needed to chill with Lindor, and I do love his quote he had in a press conference 2 days ago. He was like, yeah, like, I'm just hoping I could bring it home so this way I could stop getting booed. And he like laughed about it afterwards, and it's so true. Like, but the thing is, not everyone has that mindset. Not every big time player is going to have that mindset. And the fact that he can lean into it and be like humbled about it and like be like, yeah, the Mets fans are being a little hard on me right now is everything, because it hasn't affected him. Look how well he's played since. So
he'll be fine. I think at the end of the year, he'll back at least close to the back of his baseball card. He'll give you that 265, 270, 275. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's a professional.
So Lloyd, yeah, I mean, I know Josh is asking the last 10 games. So he was up to 220. He's at 218 now. Had an 8-game hitting streak earlier this season during our 8-game winning streak. He had a 7-game hitting streak too. So for me, it's those steady progressions. He's hitting the shit out of the ball from both sides of the plate, doubles, triples, active on the base paths, really good with his glove. I know he made the one error, but it wasn't too costly. That was when DeGrom pitched. He forced. Yeah, he kind of got the bases full based on that error. But, I mean, you talk about it today, that diving effort. The Lindor effect is definitely a thing on this team. Maybe that's really what it is. I mean, we have a guy. He hasn't been the guy yet. But having him there, and he's been taking the brunt end of a lot of the offensive problems, I think it's taking a lot of pressure off these other guys. I mean, think about it. No one's talking about Pete at all. Nobody. We didn't even mention Pete this entire time. Nobody's mentioning Pete.
Pete had a big hit. Pete had a nice hit today. He had a big hit today, but yeah, he hasn't been thumping yet either. But the one thing I will say, and it stood out today too, Lindor's glove, I feel like it's almost taken for granted. The improvement that at the shortstop position with him with his glove, that saves a lot of games. When you go to what we had at that position, and the upgrade now at shortstop, he's been good with the glove.
So John wants to know who's been more surprising, Walker or Familia. I'll say this is a two-parter, okay? Familia is more surprising, but it's still surprising the hell out of me how good Walker's stuff has been. Because over his career, and we've talked about this on this stream, it's never been that good. He's like the DeGrom level where he's picking up velo on his fastball, and I don't understand how it is. What about you?
They've both been super surprising. I didn't think either one would be nearly as. I'm going to go with Familia though, because before the year started, I was like ready to write off Familia. I was like, I don't even want this guy to pitch. So I'm going to go with Familia. I think the bullpen as a whole has been the most surprising factor of this team for me, but I'll go with Familia. And if he can keep it going, we might have something special in that bullpen, but he's been really good. But Walker, I mean, he's been worth his weight in gold.
For the record, too, I was on the show. We were asked the question, who do you trust more, Familia or Diaz? And I said Familia. I didn't feel good about it, but I said Familia. I still stay by that. It's wild that I've come to that point that I trust Familia over anyone else. And look, I know Diaz has been, fine as well. The entire bullpen. But yeah, I mean, what we're getting out of Familia, I mean, just look at the sample sizes of the last couple of seasons.
I'm just looking up
pitching this way. Emmanuel, quickly, I just want to say I shouted out Billy McKinney. I was going to say I shouted out Billy McKinney like 6 times already. Love him. Love Billy McKinney.
Oh, he's been fantastic.
I love his stroke. I love his at-bats too. He has so much like sway and rock in his at-bat. I mean, I personally can never swing that way, but he just brings his entire body into the swing. And for a lefty, I love that shit.
I was just looking at Bauer's numbers, and he's been great. But, everybody wanted Bauer before the year started, and people destroyed the Mets for not giving him what did he get? End up getting like $45 million a year or something stupid like that.
Ridiculous, yeah. Something very ridiculous.
Walker's pitching to a better ERA. Trevor Bauer's pitching to a 2.24. Walker's pitching to a 2.17. And Walker's been money for the Mets. And it turns out that it was definitely the right decision for the Mets not to go out there and spend on Trevor Bauer.
I am very glad you brought up Trevor Bauer because I was actually waiting to bring this up. So you've obviously seen in baseball they're cracking down on the foreign substances, and Bauer is a big part of that. They were talking about, and I saw a tweet. Granted, you could see it over his last 2 games, and they've been cracking down on it over the last couple of weeks. He's had probably his worst starts over the last two games. His velo's down. His spin rates are down like significantly. He's starting to not use his substances, and his stuff is just not that good, like at all. Someone showed he's throwing like 93 now, 94, which isn't where he was at. I think he's down like 2 to 3 miles an hour. I don't really know the whole thing behind it, but it's very funny to me that it's like a woe is me. Like we were talking about how DeGrom's a cheat code. No, Bauer was literally actually cheating. They're taking it away from him, and we'll see if he's just as good. Because him, that it definitely factors in with the amount of work he puts in and the research he puts behind this stuff. He knows that damn well he's using that because there's a reason behind it and there's an advantage behind it. And if they take that away from him,
he won't be the same pitcher.
Yeah,
he won't be the same pitcher. But he's not. I see Sentinel. He's not even close to DeGrom, man.
No,
DeGrom's on another level. He's by himself.
Thinking about trading for Berrios, Buxton, or Donaldson. One, I would love Byron Buxton. However, he always gets hurt. If we could get him in center field, hell yeah. I don't know if he's on the market. Berrios, I don't think we need. I also don't think he's that good. I never really thought he was that good. He was like forced to be their ace, and he didn't have ace stuff. And then Donaldson, I mean, dude, what do we need Donaldson for? I mean, third base help, but like, I don't know. I know he rakes, but I feel like Minnesota, the AL is like the place for him. Like the Mets don't need Donaldson. We do need help. We do need some depth moves, but I would probably imagine us not going after a big name like that and more like rinky-dink pieces like this until we get our guys back. We were saying it, Tanner. We were saying we're going to get some notable guys that we haven't really heard of that are going to help us out. And, I didn't think it would be Billy McKinney, but
at the deadline, and again, we don't know what this team's going to look like because we don't know who's coming back, how they're going to look when they come back, yada, yada, yada. But what do you think they're going to do? What do you think they're going to attack at the deadline? They're going to make a move.
It's gotta be a utility just player. I think right now their biggest issue is they need guys that play everywhere. Like that's the thing. I don't even think that because where the Mets are, because we always said bullpen third base, left field.
Well, I think outfield now.
Yeah. Well, I truthfully think, and I know these guys are like 1 in a million, but like who even knows what our next injury is going to be? Like we literally need guys that are interchangeable. Like we need a Ben Zobrist of the world. I don't know who's a utility guy right now. Obviously, we have Jeff McNeil, who's the utility guy to bring back. But I would imagine they bring someone in here that can probably play a little bit of the outfield and the infield. I'd have to do some research on people who are on the trading block. But I think a utility guy is actually our biggest need, believe it or not.
And I see a lot of people say I could definitely see us going after a starting pitcher as well. Depending on what Carrasco and Syndergaard look like. So yeah, I definitely could see it.
Robbie Grossman. I wouldn't mind Robbie Grossman, Matt. I wouldn't. I think outfield for sure. It's just second and third base. I mean, look at what we've gotten out of Peraza, right? And I love Peraza. I love what if we don't have Peraza? What if something happens to him and we don't have, who's going out there?
Yeah.
Literally, I have no idea. I have no idea unless Pat Mazika's coming back up and we're just throwing him everywhere. Happened to Cole too, though, Matt. Yeah, he's getting rocked lately too. It was Cole and Bauer. Those spin rates, dude. And what's crazy is they're knocking down on it. So in the World Baseball Classic, they tossed a pitcher who was coming in to close a game for Colombia, and the St. Louis game, they tossed someone at the start of the game for the same thing. He had a substance in his glove. They tossed him right out. And then, I think the dude in St. Louis had it on his hat. Yeah, the dude in St. Louis had it on his hat. Then the manager got tossed because he was pissed off. Because the manager's quotes were too, and I don't even know the manager. I should know the manager of the Cardinals off the top of my head. He won fucking manager of the year like 2 years ago. But he was livid. Because he's like, the shit people are getting away with, and you're going to come down and kick my pitcher off, for something on his hat, this and that. He's like, you have no idea. And because of comments like that, the MLB is really cracking down on it. This is like a real like issue in the MLB right now.
They tossed the Padres manager today at the start of the game.
Really?
Yeah. First inning, they tossed him. Because
Mike Schilt. Yep.
The Dom Smith, I think it was, went to check his swing, and the umpire didn't check third base. So the Padres manager bitched and moaned about it, and he threw him out of the game.
Well, they weren't cheating, but whatever. Throw the entire Padres team out. Robert, thank you. It was a nice win. Josh Harrison would be a good little move, Dan Kim. That's what I'm thinking about. Someone like that, but he's playing really well for Washington.
We almost picked him up 2 years ago. I remember Josh Harrison.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's playing really well for Washington, but I mean, it depends. Like, would Washington even trade with us? I mean,
probably not.
Yeah, probably not, right?
No, I don't think so.
Otherwise, let's trade for Trout. He'd be an okay outfielder. He would be. It's funny. Right. Before the season, I sat with my friend and we were talking about a need at center field, and he literally just sat there and looked at me. He's like, "Who's the best center fielder in baseball?" I'm like, I don't know. Let me think. I was like, "Oh, Mike Trout plays center." He's like, "Oh, great. All right, let's just go get Trout." I was like, "Yeah, let's go get Trout. Why not? We have the money for it. Yeah, trade for Ohtani. Yeah, guys, seriously, like I wish that would be Ohtani's the utility player we need because then we get the pitcher and we get an outfielder.
He's the MVP. He's the MVP right now.
Oh, if I show you all the Ohtani graded rookie cards that I got in a lot recently, I don't even have to.
By the way, what is going on with the card market? It is plummeted, at least in the basketball market. I don't know about baseball. It's plummeted.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but here, I'll show you this. I got away with murder. I got a bunch of optic graded rookies for nothing. I got a Trey boy.
Can you throw that card out, please?
Dude, I know. And I was like, wait, I got something really good for you then, actually. You would love this. And I don't know if we still have Knicks fans in this chat. Hold on 1 second, guys. This would be well worth it. Sorry. Yeah, don't buy a million cards like me, guys. Look at this. I packed this in a box the other day. On-card rated rookie Julius Randle.
Holy crap. That's pretty good.
Packed it too. Packed it. You always like getting something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I feel you. I've noticed basketball cards are a lot cheaper, but at the same time, they were so damn overpriced. It's like
they're bad. It was bound to come down.
It was on another planet. But yeah, so I do have a shit ton of Otanis that I do plan on selling at some point. Let's see what else we got in here. Adam Frazier from the Pirates, yeah, something like that. Yeah, obviously Chris Bryant would be the mecca of this guy's third base, left field. We've asked for Chris Bryant for months. Joe Judge method, Pinworm. I like it. Utility. And by the way, Tater, we can go off on a Giants rant. I'm sure we could, and we don't have to right now. But there is so much going on. There was football overload with OTAs. I'm watching Ingram catch passes on air. People got to talk about that. I got slander on Joe Judge. We get Danny slander every day of the week. It's like it's June 6th, guys.
This is the part, and it's why I haven't done a ton of content the last couple of weeks. This is the part of the offseason that I hate because all you're gonna get now is clickbait bullshit. That's all it is. Like people are gonna go crazy because Jones is more muscular now, or it's like
we're speculating on air drills. Not even 7-on-7s.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about.
They're getting the playbook down. They're getting the playbook down. That's literally all that's happening. And yeah, we got to talk about who's not here, who's here, this, and that.
There's nothing to talk about right now.
It was just, you want to know what it was this week? Someone triggered me just getting that Danny slander. It's like, I've defended him since the season ended. And it's like, I just need us to have a month where I don't have to go all out on Daniel Jones. And people just get it out of me, man. They just get it out of me. You guys think Lillard could possibly be traded to the Knicks? Here's where I'm worried about for you. It's that Stephen A. Smith keeps tying everyone to the Knicks. And if there's anything we've learned, whenever that guy says anyone's coming to the Knicks, they're not coming to the Knicks. No chance.
I don't think we'll get Lillard. I actually think we have a better chance to get McCollum than Lillard. I think
I would not want McCollum though.
I'm not saying I want
CJ?
him.
No, yeah.
No, I'm not saying I want him, but I could see that. I could see him getting traded before Lillard. I think in the end Lillard's going to stay there. And they might trade McCollum to create cap space. But the guy that I really want, I mean, realistically speaking, of course, I'd love Kawhi Leonard. But if he becomes available, is Chris Paul.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I think he'd be a perfect fit for this Knicks team with Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett. I think he'd help progress them. I think because you'd have to overpay, but the guy's 36 years old. And if the Knicks are willing to give him 4 years, that's the guy that I would like.
You would overpay because obviously he turns down a $44.5 million contract.
I would overpay, because I think he'd be that important for the growth of our
But do you
players.
think so? The thing is, I'm thinking if the Sun, because I said that too, and especially because they were tied to him this offseason. But if the Suns make a deep enough run, I think he wants to run that back. You'd think. I'm not sure because the Thunder made a run and he didn't want to, but all the pieces are there for the Suns. I worry that the Knicks need one more guy to convince Chris Paul to come over. I think he would immediately help this Knicks team, but I do think they would need one more person because they're going to have to pay Randall. And I don't know if Randall's enough to convince Chris Paul to come over. He's not.
Well, maybe, but you can't.
You'd have to believe in RJ. You'd have to really believe in RJ.
They're not going to win it with just Chris Paul. They would need another piece. I agree with that.
Mr. Mini Guy. What do you mean there's no news? Sources say Jones recently got a haircut. Big news. Yeah, that's big news. New York Sports Hub, what's going on? Sentinel, I love Joey Gallo. Joey Gallo hits moonshots, just absolute moonshots. He's more of like a DH. I know he plays the outfield fine.
He came up as a first baseman, didn't he?
Yeah, he actually could help us at first, too.
I think he came up as a first baseman.
He's a lefty bat, too, which we kind of need. Not really anymore because we have McKinney. We almost have too many lefties. I'm a liar. We need righty bats. We still need righty. Yeah, we still need righty power bats more than anything because we have plenty of lefties, especially with Lindor hits better lefty anyway. So his switch doesn't even help us. He's more of a contact hitter, right? Yeah, look, I love Joey Gallo as a player, guys. It's definitely a possibility. I would not rule it out, but where does Conforto go to then? Because I don't think Conforto will be out that long.
Do you think Conforto is done with the Mets? Because he's a free agent after this year.
It's definitely suspect.
Yeah,
it's definitely suspect. I don't know what's going on with a lot of these Mets injuries, and I think it's very Mets-esque for that to happen. But I think a lot of it's contingent on how hurt they are and how they bounce back from their injuries, as it should be for most players. But it's like, especially a guy like Conforto who's looking for max money, which he wasn't going to get, which is why they didn't pay him in the offseason. But for someone who's going to bark up that tree, the results do matter. I'm the first guy to say numbers aren't everything. The numbers kind of are.
Oh, in baseball, numbers are more important than the other sports. But I hate to say it, man, because I love Conforto. I don't think he's going to be here after this year.
No.
I really don't.
I think we could improve in right field, too, if we did take him. I don't think it'd be that difficult. Like you just said, if you told me we don't have to pay Conforto, we trade for Gallo and just sign him on some bullshit deal just to roam right field and, like, hold it down, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, I'd love to have him here long term. I don't know, man. I maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they're going to sign Conforto.
Conforto isn't a star. The thing is, though, I think Conforto's good. Like, I really do like him as a player. I think he flashes his glove. I think when he's hot, he's probably one of the hardest people to get out in baseball. But he's just not steady. He's not consistent. Mike's asking, how are the Cubs doing this year? Chris Bryant's doing phenomenal. So we definitely, the thing is, and we've said this, and if you watch our videos throughout the season, it's that we're going to wait to sign him in the offseason. The way Chris Bryant's playing, it completely justifies why the Cubs wanted Francisco Alvarez, because you're getting a former MVP, Rookie of the Year, World Series champion. He's playing like that this season, but we're not going to mortgage, valuable assets of this farm system that we've already mortgaged before. By the way off topic, Jared Kelenic, struggling.
Yeah?
Struggling. He is tied for the longest hitless streak in Major League Baseball this season, I believe, is a stat. He's batting like 100. I think he's 0 for his last 35.
Oh, yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because Mets fans on Twitter go nuts about him whenever they get the opportunity to complain. But as far as the Cubs go, Mike, with Chris Bryant, and what's going on, Pete, man? Thank you so much for being here, buddy. As far as that goes, like, the Cubs are 7 games over. Like, I don't think they're going to be looking to trade Chris Bryant. They're right in the thick of it. So I don't see that happening.
Lonzo all day. John, you don't mean that. You don't mean that. You don't actually want Lonzo Ball. Come on, John. You don't want Lonzo. Think about it. Then you get LeVar. Do you want LeVar?
Josh, I'm not being by the way, Josh, I don't hate Conforto. He says, why is everyone being negative about I'm not negative about it. I like Conforto. I know he's a free agent next year, and I look at all the other players that are free agents on our team, and I guess it's going to depend on what his market's going to be, and we'll see how he responds when he comes off the injury, but I don't know if we're going to sign him. I hope we do. I like Conforto, but I don't know if we're going to sign him.
I'm going to take a look at some free agent outfielders for next year and see what I could come up with, because now I'm just curious. But I do think we're definitely going to be active on a Chris Bryant deal this offseason, without a doubt. 100%.
Yeah, you think Bryant will be a Met?
Yeah, for sure. After this year, he's done anyways. So
third base?
I wouidn't mind third base. I really would love him in left field. I would. I know he doesn't play there. I know he's better at third base. I'd love him in left. Because I think Brett Beatty's the truth. Brett Beatty's the truth. I bought his cards early. Anyone who can play a natural position, third base, like glove hand left, you're throwing hands right, and then you go up to bat and rake lefty, you just immediately get on my good side. Immediately. You're ambidextrous like that, it just immediately turns me on. I'm like, we're good. Like, this guy's the fucking truth. I think it's because that's so difficult to do. It's so difficult to do that. All right, Ketel Marte, a guy who the Mets could definitely get and would be a big-time improvement. Guy who plays center, plays left, and plays second. Could fucking play shortstop if we wanted to. That's a huge guy I would want to go get. Let's see. Buxton. Buxton would be available next year. That'd be a nice step up in center field as well. There are guys. And then you could move guys like Nimmo, who we have under contract to right or left, and he doesn't have to roam center anymore.
What do you think Conforto is going to get? Because I saw Josh in the chat just write that he's the only good that's bad news if he's the only good outfielder, because that means he's the best at his position. And I have not looked at the market this year. But what do you think Conforto is going to command? Obviously, it depends on how he plays the rest of the year if he comes back. But
I'm going to look at some contract numbers real quick, because I know what he was coming in on last year. Because he wanted over 20, but like that's the gist. I'm not giving him 20 or more. I'm not. A year, 20 million. I'm just not.
I would.
You
because
would?
There's no salary cap in baseball, Steve. I know. I would give him the. I don't know. Like, I think we're going to have a lot of questions at the end of the year, though. Not just with Conforto. You're going to have Taiwan Walker. You're going to have Noah Syndergaard. Like, there's going to be a lot of players we have to decide whether or not we're going to keep. And even though I know Steve Cohen is the richest owner in all of baseball, he has shown that he's not going to spend like a drunken sailor. He's going to spend wisely. So I don't know. We're gonna lose Stroman as well as a free agent. So we're going to lose players. I don't think we're going to keep everybody. So we'll see.
See, like, I think we're like already where I'm at based on performance, and this is where it matters. I'm giving Stroman that $20 million over Conforto, and I don't even like Stroman. Yeah, I like Conforto more than Stroman. I'm giving Stroman the money more than Conforto because I also think outfield's like a volatile position. Like, I don't know, like you see with a guy like McKinney right now, I feel like he can go out and get an outfielder.
Like, my mistake. M6, by the way. Walker's was a 2 year. I thought it was a 1 year deal. It's a 2 year deal.
Actually, and he has an option for a 3rd year.
Okay, my mistake then. Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow, what a great deal that was. It's $10 million a year, right?
$10 million a year, yeah, $10 million a year.
What a steal that was. My God.
Yeah, and so Josh Syndergaard isn't coming back, and that's a guy I don't think will get extended. That's another decision we have to make, and it's got to be based on performance. But the thing about Syndergaard, and I always bring this up, he's going to be way more cost efficient than any of these other guys. I don't think Syndergaard would demand as much as anybody else that we're talking about right now because he can't. He doesn't have the leverage to stand on to do it. He has no justification other than people will need a starting pitcher. That's the only catch. That is it. People would overpay for a pitcher. We just talked about it. Money is not an option in Major League Baseball. So that's the only thing. But it would be very reluctant for me to think that he'd go to the Mets demanding for more than 15. I think he's a $15 million a year guy. I think they could give him like what you're saying with Walker. Walker got 10. Like, I think Syndergaard over his career probably has done about the same, if not a little bit more, as Walker. So I would put him in the same area. I'd give him 10 to 15. I'm not giving him much more than that. I go 10 to 15.
I mean, as much as I love Syndergaard, he's obviously a fan favorite, and when he's healthy, he's great. I don't think it justifies a big contract. He hasn't stayed healthy. We may lose Syndergaard. We're not gonna keep everybody. So maybe it'll be Syndergaard, and maybe we decide to keep Stroman. I think Stroman's obviously earning a contract, that's for sure. Even though we're not the biggest fans of his. But yeah, I think Syndergaard could be gone as well. Hopefully not with Conforto. Hopefully keep Conforto.
The thing is too, so Cookie's under a 3-4 year deal. So we already have him locked up. So really, ideally, we need to just figure out either Stroman or Syndergaard, and then we figure out that 5 spot again, which isn't too hard to manage.
Syndergaard might end up being a closer.
I would fucking love it.
I could see that transformation, like John Smoltz. I could see it.
You think Syndergaard is the next Zach Wheeler, Josh? I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
Well, what does he mean by that? The meaning that we lose him?
Well, I think what he's meaning is that he's going to leave and have success like Zach Wheeler's having with Philly, and I don't think that's the case. Because I don't think Syndergaard was ever – I'm going to pick my words carefully here. Because Syndergaard was hit or miss. He got hit hard. When he got hit hard, and Wheeler's a lot of the same, but Wheeler's stuff was ace stuff. I never looked at Syndergaard stuff other than his heat and said this is ace stuff. His slider's filth, but other than the gas –
I'm trying to think.
He's hittable.
Syndergaard's hittable. 2016, if I remember correctly, before he got hurt in 2016, right?
Syndergaard.
Maybe it was 2017.
No, it would make sense. 2016. I think that's when.
Let me look at his numbers.
That's when he got called up.
2016. 2016. That year, he was filthy.
Right. You're also right. The Yankees have wanted him for years, and that's the only reason I mentioned that. When money isn't an option and you're desperate for pitching, the Yankees, I think the Yankees would boatload money for him and overpay the shit out of him. But I don't know, because I've seen Syndergaard literally like people would stop him at All-Star games and like make comments about the Yankees, and he'd just be like, leave me alone. Like, he wanted no part of it. Not because, he didn't want to talk trade, and I'm sure that's part of the reason. I just genuinely don't think he wants to play there. I think a part of him doesn't want to. He'd have to cut his hair, probably. I'm sure he'd have to cut his hair, which is a no-go for Noah. If you know Noah, he's not cutting that hair. So, yeah, I don't know. And he's been a Met. He's been a Met for life. So it would hurt. It would hurt to see him in a Yankee pinstripe for sure. And I think that's probably the most likely team to overpay for him because they desperately need pitching. But I don't know if they'd actually do it. Sentinel said, "Who are we more worried about, the Phillies or the Braves in the race for the NL East?" Has your answer changed? I feel like we answer this every time we come on stream.
I still think it's the Braves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think it's the Braves. The Phillies, I don't know. I feel like the Phillies have really come back to the pack. What did they start, Tino? Like 9-1? Like they got off to a great start, didn't they?
Yep, great start.
And I still have the same questions with their team as I had at the start of the year. I don't trust the pitching. The Braves are ultra. I think the Braves are still our biggest threat. I do. I still think the Braves are our biggest threat.
I wanted to talk about this too because we talked about it before we came on, and it's worth noting because every time we've come on, it has not been this way. But the Mets are the only team in the East with a positive run differential. Mark this day down because we don't know how long we'll have that. So
what are we plus what now?
Plus 11.
Okay.
Plus 11. Phillies are minus 11, and then you have the Marlins and Braves at minus 3. The Nats, yuck, minus 31.
What do you mean, yuck? That's great.
I mean, yeah, but it's just like they all have pitching issues. And that's what we talked about before we got on air. Why are we so confident in the Mets? We have what none of these other teams have. They've all been hurt. We've been hurt, but our pitching is unreal.
We have the best team in this division. I knew that going in. You're as a Met fan, you're like, you're reluctant to say it because it's the Mets, but I think it's our division to lose. I really believe that. I really believe that. I think we're by far the best team in this division. Races, Braves pitching is, and yeah, the Braves are very beatable. They're very beatable. And Pete, I agree with you, Pete, by the way. He says Syndergaard is better than Zach. I agree with him. I think when Syndergaard is healthy, I think he's a better pitcher than Zach Wheeler. Wheeler had moments where he was very good. Especially, I think it was his last year with the Mets, if I'm not mistaken. Before we let him go, he was really good. But I agree with him. I think when Syndergaard is at his best, he is a borderline 1A. I wouldn't say a 1, but I would say better than a 2. I think he's a top 15, 20 pitcher when he's completely healthy.
The only reason I say Wheeler is because what you just said, the 1A. Wheeler is the 1 in Philly right now. They have Aaron Nola as their ace listed. Wheeler's their ace. Off of what I've seen this season is where I'll say that I think Wheeler has come to form because he did have a good ending with the Mets, and he carried it over to this year. I know we don't watch many Phillies games, and I don't even get to see every Zach Wheeler start. He's on. I'll pull up the numbers. He's on this year, man. And yeah, Mr. Mini Guy, yeah, the bullpen's rocky. Every bullpen's terrible. The Phillies bullpen is still god-awful. God-awful. Okay, let's get.
Let me see Wheeler's stats. Holy crap! Yeah, 2.5. Yeah, he's pitching
100 Ks already. 2.514 wins. 82 innings pitched. 9 of his 12 starts have been quality starts.
Wow. Yeah,
it's good stuff, man.
He's turned into a damn good pitcher. He's turned into a good pitcher.
And it's like as great as Syndergaard is, like I don't know if he's a sub-3 guy.
I mean, he always was before he got hurt. He always was.
Mm-hmm. Well, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. Moving forward.
Yeah. You know,
this whole thing started for me is that they're like, if he leaves, I think he's going to do what Wheeler's doing now. What Wheeler's doing now is ridiculous. He's unconscious. Like it would be very hard for Syndergaard, especially coming off the injury he's coming off of, to do this if he left the Mets next year. That's why I think he wouldn't be so reluctant to demand money. I mean, if he really wants the payday, sure, but like guy coming off an injury like that, I don't know. I would rather sign the short-term deal, knowing I think
that's what he'll do. I think that's what he'll ultimately do.
He's already Noah Syndergaard. You know, it's not like he doesn't have the name behind it. Like, God forbid he even got another injury. Like, people still take a chance. We fucking signed Dylan Betances, and he had an Achilles injury.
I think Syndergaard, and I think it'll be for more money, but I think he'll do what Walker did. I think it'll be like a 2-year deal. I think it'll be a short deal, a prove-it deal, and then he'll try to get a big payday off of it. That's what I think it'll be.
I think he has to do it that way.
Yeah.
When healthy is really important, Sentinel. You're right. Best ability is availability. And the dollar signs come into that too. I would not be surprised if the Mets didn't give him some like 1-2 years player option the second year type of thing for double digits, but I don't think it would cross the 20 mark. The Yanks might throw him 20, but I don't know. Like,
the Yanks are desperate, man. We've seen the Yankees in the past always throw money at pitching. AJ Burnett, yada yada yada. So I could see
AJ Burnett. That's a name.
I
That
could
is a
see
name.
that. He kind of reminds me of Syndergaard. He was a flamethrower. I think the Yankees will throw money at Syndergaard if he proves to be healthy. I could see it.
See, but here's the thing. The Braves pitching is Ray West. You're right. But I will say this. I'm envious of their offense. God dang, can they hit the ball, man. The Braves offense just scares the shit out of me. Like, here's the thing. Like, when you have one of the top 2, 3 young guys in the game, and we talked about this with our division in general. We always talk about Soto, Harper, and Harper. I mean, fuck Harper at this point. But Soto, Harper, and Acuna. I mean, Acuna... He's ungodly right now. I mean, he's really on another planet. I know he said Ohtani's the MVP. That'll be in the AL. What's crazy, too...
No, DeGrom's the MVP in the NL.
I love that. I love that. Okay, DeGrom's the MVP of the NL. Fine.
You bet that, right? You bet that.
I did bet that, yes.
What were the odds you got on that?
I put $50 on it to win like 500-600 or something.
You're going to win. So hey, DeGrom's got to be the MVP, right? How is he not?
Hey, I'm here for you. Tana, I told you I don't want the Cy Young. I only want an MVP for him from here on out, unless they rename the trophy. Those are my demands. No more Cy Youngs, only MVPs unless they rename it. But Acuna is, I just want to read off his numbers because this is just like crazy. Oh, his average actually came down. So he's back to earth a little bit. He's actually under 300. He's at 278. 17 ribbies, though. 17 home runs. 17 home runs, 36 ribbies. Pretty good. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's not 0.6 ERA, though. Good.
That's not. No, you're right. But the Braves will also have to be a better team. The thing is, he's like what I said with Tatis. Like last year, I was pissed that Tatis didn't finish in the top 3 of MVP voting, and Machado did, which was bullshit because anyone who watched the Padres, and this is bias, and this is how you know it's bias aside, literally just watching the Padres as a complete outsider. That team is centered around Fernando Tatis. They were only as good as they were because he was that spark plug. And this year's no different. They do what he does, and that's where the MVP conversations come in. That's why I told you with DeGrom. That's why I supported it, because the Mets are going to do what he does. That's where the Braves are. And if you're betting at any point, that's how you have to talk yourself into things like that. I'm sorry, yeah. Sentinel just said Acuna's good, but we have the ERs. Lars.
Kevin Pillar has become he has a cult following. It's kind of like Wilmer Flores. I said it on my stream today, where he has instantly become a fan favorite with the New York Mets fan base. Really cool the way he bounced back from that.
Hold on, I just want to see what Wheeler's numbers were when he was on the Mets. Give me 1 second. Tatis is really good. Yeah, Tatis.
I got him right here. He threw his last year with the Mets.
His last year,
3.96, 11-8 record. He actually had a better year. The year before he was better.
I was going to say, I thought that was a lot better.
2018, he had a 3.31, 12-7. So with 179 strikeouts and 182 innings. So he was never like elite. He wasn't. He was good. He was never elite. Syndergaard, he was in the 2s for a few years.
Superman, blah, blah, blah. I saw someone's comment I don't want to forget. Dang it. I like that everyone's congratulating us on the win because you know what? We did put a lot of effort in. Tanner called the game. Congratulations to Tanner for calling a win. That was a team effort. It was all around team effort. So, yeah,
They usually win. They usually win when I call the game.
They do. That. We're still undefeated at games and calling games. We are undefeated.
They usually win when I call the game.
Pretty good. Yeah, Braves have Acuna, Freeman, Albies. Yeah, it's stupid. But what counteracts a good offense? Pitching. And that's why, honestly, I'm not too surprised. I think it's just more over, our history, the fact that we struggled against the Braves, that I always get scared of them. But, on paper, we actually shouldn't struggle against them because we have the perfect firepower to match their firepower. Pitching. That's it. Yeah. What's the answer to stop a high-powered offense in football? Defense. That's defense. Pitching is defense in baseball. So that's why, and I'm telling you, and we circle back to the beginning of this, as we get to wrap things up soon. I guess we're nearing the hour mark, but that's why I'm getting those vibes from this team of just things aren't going our way, and yet they're still going our way. And it's because we have what teams are desperate for, like the Yankees, and that money can't buy. It's pitching. And we have more pitching coming in. That's why it's we need healthy pitching. We should maybe look for another starting pitcher, but it's should we? Because we talk about this all the time. When everyone comes back, where is everyone going? Like, people are going to have to go to the bullpen. There's going to have to be some bump downs. We're talking about Syndergaard already in the pen. Like, Peterson's going to be the odd man out soon. Lucchesi could get shipped to Madagascar at this point. It doesn't matter what he does. So it's like, like we need some more starting pitching help, but we also have, I'll say it, I think we have the best rotation in baseball.
It's up there. I don't know. It's up there when we're healthy. But I'm looking at the bullpen.
Even now, though, I mean, when we're healthy, sure. Like right now, I don't. In terms of ERA, I mean, I want to see team ERAs. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm looking at the stats right now. I mean, if you want to just talk starters, you got obviously our top three is unbelievable. I mean, Stroman's 2.41, DeGrom's 6.2.
The Padres, the team we just played, would probably be the only rotation pitching staff in competition with us, because all around pitching, we have the second lowest ERA in baseball. And the Padres are ahead of us at 2.82, but that's not just starting pitching. So,
but our bullpen, like we've been saying, has been, I mean, Familia's got a 2 ERA. I mean, he's been great. Gazelman even's been good, 2.42. Edwin Diaz 3.09. Castro 2.52.
Castro, man.
Castro. Every game that guy seems to pitch, but
and we got Lugo back. We didn't mention that yet. I'm very happy we got Lugo back.
You love Lugo. You're a big Lugo guy.
We stretched him 2 innings almost immediately. Right on cue. Right on cue, baby. Right on cue. 2 innings. That's what we need him for.
Yeah.
Dude, we have a lot of pitchers, though. And that's what I mean, that can do different things. Like, as much as I wanted a structured way to end the game, 7, 8, 9, I firmly don't even care anymore because everyone's so good. And because of how the schedule's shaken up, I know it's the regular season. I'll probably want that more come postseason time. But because of how stagnant the regular season is, we have a different closer based on how many games. And we play close games every single game. We're in safe situations every other game. So Diaz is getting taxed. May's getting taxed. Castro's getting taxed. So getting Lugo back is huge for that reason. But if anybody can close a game. That's why I feel confident in Familia. Like, if Familia had to go out there, I'd be like, yeah. Like, he's going to get the job done because all these guys are getting battle tested. Like, I don't want to tie it to basketball. Let's go Nets. But the Nets lost Harden. Well, they've lost Harden before. So it's not like a brand new, like, oh, my God, what are we going to do? It's like, we actually have dealt with this before. The Mets are dealing with more adversity than anything possible. And we're winning. So just think about it. Like, we are battle tested. When a guy goes down, I mean, we already have guys ready to step up. Peraza, Yar.
The Mets built a good baseball team. This
Drew Smith is pitching for us, and I dig it. Like, I dig it. We have dudes that ball read Foley. Like, next guy up, and they're dicing. Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah, I'm calling not the next Met game. The game after that, I said, and then I'm going to call the every DeGrom start going forward. Unless I'm at the DeGrom game, I'm calling every DeGrom game.
Actually, here, I'll show you guys. I was going to show MH my Nets jersey, but I did get this one. I was wearing this today. Meet me in the tunnel. The raccoon. Oh, fuck. I got it over the mic. Yeah, I was wearing that. But yeah, baby, here we go. Let's go Nets, kid. Let's go. Ah.
Who's that? Is that Harden? I don't even know. Yeah, Harden. Yeah.
It's Harden. Wore it to the game yesterday, and he got hurt in 43 seconds, so I didn't even get to see him play. It's cool. Not a big deal. Next to Grom start, yeah. So I would assume that's Friday if he can. Yeah.
DeGrom's Friday. DeGrom's Friday. Yeah, I'm gonna call every. Like, I want to go to a DeGrom start for sure. I don't. I've only seen DeGrom live maybe twice. Yeah, but I definitely want to go to a DeGrom start this year. That's for damn sure.
Yep. All right. So any last words? We passed the hour mark here. If anyone knows if Jake Paul or Logan Paul is fighting yet, let me know. So this way I don't have to rush to get out of here. But I do want to try to watch that. How many post games can we expect? I like that question, Ray West. I will answer that before we get out of here. As many as we can do. I'm breaking your heart, MH. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Listen, as when hopefully my streams get a little bit bigger as I do them more consistently and try to funnel more and more people over here. That's the goal. That's my goal. That's what I'm trying to do. So that's kind of why I'm starting to stream on my channel now, because I'm like, all right, I'll probably get a bigger audience there and start to funnel more and more people to the post game. And eventually, if this channel starts to grow, we'll start doing the live streams over here. That's my thought process.
Pete, the Padres have the best ERA in baseball, but not for long. Not for long. Don't you worry, Pete.
We couldn't bet. I'm not a bettor, but Tino said you couldn't bet on the fight tonight.
Yeah, no, there are definitely some offshore accounts that I think you could bet. You could only bet knockouts in specific rounds, but you can't bet on the actual fight. It's only novelty bets, and that's so dumb.
How many rounds is the fight tonight?
It's supposed to be 8, is what I was told.
8 rounds. It ain't going 8 rounds.
It's so stupid. I did do a free thing on DraftKings where it's like a pool. You just pick, you just answer a bunch of questions like, will there be this many knockdowns, this. You answer all 8. If you get all right, you win like a gigantic pool. So I did one of those, very harmless betting, but and it was free to do. They were trying to promote the fight, but yeah, no, I did not bet it. I'm not gonna waste my money. And I normally like betting fights. That's like, my bread and butter. So I wish I could. So are we doing the next? So no, Chris would do it on his channel, and then we definitely do the post game over here.
Yeah, that's the plan. Get the post games going over here, and then eventually, hopefully, start to do a few streams over here and there. But trying to use my platform to hopefully make this channel get bigger over the course of the baseball season.
MH, second round max. Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying 6th round. 6th round knockout. He'll be knocked down in the 4th or 5th before it. If he gets knocked out in the 4th, it's over in the 5th.
I don't think it'll be in the 2nd round because I think it's kind of like the
Mayweather
fight.
dances. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
Like he's going to try to make a show. He's going to make sure people get their money's worth. It's not going to be 2 rounds. I think I like the 6th round. 6 or 7.
Mayweather's not that kind of fighter either. He's going to wait. If anything, he wants Logan Paul like McGregor to burn himself out.
Yeah. Yep. And then he'll go in for the kill.
Yeah. So if it happens earlier, fine, but I don't think it'll be in 2 rounds. I don't think he'll get burned out in 2 rounds. Logan's pretty athletic.
The balls on this guy, Jake Paul, and I don't know much about it. I know you've watched his fights. Who has he fought anybody like of notoriety?
So, I confused them. Jake fought Ben Askren. Logan's fighting Mayweather. So Jake fought Ben Askren and Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson, no. And Ben Askren used to be in the UFC, but he's a wash.
Okay. So how do you go from that? A YouTube. Literally like if I, was a pretty good basketball player and I had a YouTube channel and I beat, I don't know, some celebrity football player in basketball, and then I challenged Michael Jordan. Like the Bulls to go up against Floyd Mayweather? Are you kidding me?
Well, Logan, I don't know who Logan's fought before this. I know he fought a fake like rapper, KSI before this. Yeah, but Jake is trying to fight Tyron Woodley. I think that's who it is, right? I'm hoping I'm not saying no. That's Cheyenne Woodley. I was like, I'm hoping I'm not saying the girl who's married to Aaron Rodgers because they're very close. Tyron Woodley, the former UFC fighter. I think he'd get mauled. I think Jake would get mauled, but I don't know, dude. I don't know what to think anymore with these fights because I think some of them are taking falls. I think that Askren fight was a fall, and I don't know if the guy's going for money grabs and like people on the tail end of their careers wouldn't take a fall to one of these guys just for the payday. Like I think they would. They know the money coming.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure for sure. Sentinel, I can't wait to
fake rapper, the disrespect. I've never listened to a KSI song in my life, Josh. Never, and I never will. Never.
I saw Sentinel bring up the black jerseys. I think we've talked. Yeah, we've definitely talked about that, and I hope they bring it back soon. I love the black jerseys and the black hat. I love. I hope Steve Cohen said they were going to wear that this year. So hopefully it's sooner than later. I'd love to see that.
MH, what's the Bartolo commercial? I don't know what that is. I'm not sure.
Pete, be good, my man. Thank you so much for popping in.
Yeah, be good, guys. You know what, Tanner? Let's I want to talk about the Bartolo commercial, but I don't know what he's talking about, so I don't know if we have much insight on it. I guess we could any last words?
No, man. I thank you to everybody who did come in. We appreciate it. Super excited about this baseball team right now. Can't wait to go to some games. Can't wait to continue to, stream some games with you guys. But regardless, just enjoy the season. It's a long year. We still got another, 110 games or so. So we got a long way to go. We're about a third of the way through the season. And, man, we just got to stay healthy and keep trucking. This team's been resilient. They're finding ways to win. It kind of reminds me of the Knicks this year, when they just kept finding ways to win and stay in it, and let's get back to healthy and let's take this team where it needs to be, which is the playoffs, and then we'll see where we go from there. But it's been a lot of fun watching this team lately.
Don't boo Francisco Lindor if any of you go to the next home game, please. He's over 200. We don't need him to get under 200. Stay positive.
And, and Josh, yes, I'm not streaming the first Orioles game. I'm going to stream the second because it's a bit. I didn't want to do the Peterson game, so I think it's Walker versus Harvey. So I'm going to do that one, and then I'm going to do the back-to-back. I'm going to do the DeGrom start, the next game right after that.
And when's the next stream? I don't know. We just said Friday, but the next one after that, as much as we can do, guys, we're going to do. Me and Tanner have been a little bit busy. Tanner's now going to get a little less busy, which is great. I, however, am going to try to get less busy myself, but the outlook is not great. But the good news is he's going to be doing the games on his channel. Obviously, a lot of you guys know where it is, but if you don't, go subscribe to his channel and get all those notifications and play-by-plays and daily videos and the Giants stuff and the Knicks stuff, everything he does over there. And then, of course, thumbs up, like, subscribe, notifications. Turn them all on. Sub to this channel. WHADDYA SHEA, guys. Tell your friends. We'll be streaming soon. We appreciate all you guys coming out. Good night. We love you all. Let's go Mets.
Let's go Mets, baby.